What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the TotalSport YouTube channel. This is just a quick, brief interlude before we start this video with the great Niall Powell, who you can check out in the description. I'm back home, one, in Cardiff. You can see a nice little background here. And number two, the greenkeeper decided he wanted a bit of that TotalSport action. So between minutes 1 and 4 or 5, you can hear a lot of him. But you can still clearly hear Niall. I just ask you to persevere with it if you can, just for me and for Niall. If you want to sponsor Niall, you can have a look in the description for his GoFundMe, and let's get into the video. I'll pass it forward to past me. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the TotalSport YouTube channel. I'm quite far away, but I'm in a beautiful setting today at Ross-on-Wye Golf Club, and I'm joined by a good pal of mine, Mr. Niall Powell. How are you, mate?
Very good, thank you, Chris. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, well, it's amazing, and you've never seen stuff like this before, guys. It's the first in-person interview we've actually done on the channel, which is kind of amazing, to be honest. Hope you're honoured, Niall. Hope you're honoured. So first off, mate, before we get into anything, as if the viewers don't know who you are you, mate?
Yeah, so my name's Niall Powell. I'm a 24-year-old from Ross-on-Wye Golf Club, and I've just recently turned professional in the golf game.
Yeah, I mean, I've known Niall for a long time. Very dedicated young man, if I say so myself. So first off, mate, what got you into golf? What was the main spark for you in this beautiful game?
Yeah, obviously a massive lover of sport. Like, I love any sport. Played pretty much all sports growing up until really the age of 16, and I guess like up until 16 it was really golf. But then before that it was football. So like, football was up until about 12. Got into golf at about 12, 13, and that was it. Then it was kind of like those couple of years of, hang on a minute, I think I like golf a bit more, and I can see myself going further in the game as I like to football or cricket or any other sport, and that's it. I mean, I just fell in love with the game really, and I think at age 16 then I kind of got pretty serious with it. Yeah,
definitely. So moving on from your story, you first travelled to America, I think it was 4 years ago now. Talk to us about that. What was the mental toughness? I mean, you were going away to the other side of the world, mate.
You know what? Not tough at all.
Really?
Not tough at all. Like, I would do that experience in a heartbeat. You know, I'm kind of that kid that, you know, likes a bit of adrenaline, and, you know, I kind of like a new experience, a bit of change, and yeah, at first you think, oh my god, I'm nowhere near independent. I'm a sort of like 18-year-old that doesn't do his washing, doesn't do his cooking. You know, my mum's absolutely spoiled me since I've been, well, as far as I can remember, my mum and dad. But yeah, you get over there, mate. It's just a totally different world, and it's a world that, wow, was just fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, how did you acclimatise to doing your own washing and your own cooking? Or did you at all?
Well, I had a few people out me. I swear, I definitely had a few people out me, but yeah, I mean, I would say I'm a bit more independent now.
Yeah, that definitely helped at 24, lad. Yeah. That definitely does. Right. So golfing wise, where in the in the USA did you travel to, and how successful were you in your time there?
Yeah, well, very successful early on. I started at a junior college, because when I first looked at the United States, I actually didn't have that many D1 offers. And, you know, my whole thing about going to the States for college was to be in the top ranked, you know, place I could be at, and I didn't want to go anywhere but Division 1, but then I got told that you haven't quite got the Division 1 offers you're looking for, so maybe going to a junior college to start with is a good idea. And, you know, they get knocked back a bit, but actually it's actually a great, you know, starting ground, and I wouldn't change my experience because it was just a perfect place when I started at Kirkwood in Iowa. Started there, had 2 very successful seasons. Like, as a freshman, my first year I won the regional championships from an individual point of view. I won that by a couple of strokes. I think I won it by a stroke, and I hold like a decent like 17-foot putt on the last green, which is pretty electric. And then our team won the regional title that year. then the following year, I think I collected about 7 individual titles by my final year. It concluded my sophomore year, and I then ended up being the MVP for the conference, which was great. And that then got me quite a few offers coming in then for Division 1, and then I chose New Mexico State. Went to New Mexico State then for my last 2 years. Probably didn't have the goal success that I wanted. It definitely wasn't, I wanted to go there and frigging win a individual title in Division 1, one of my team to compete, and really, I wouldn't say not for the lack of effort, not for the lack of work. It was just one of those things when you go from being an English lad to go to somewhere like Iowa. Yeah, it's humid and it's nice weather, but it's totally different kettle of fish like down south in New Mexico because it's desert. So as regards to Iowa, you have a little bit of cold weather in the winter, whereas New Mexico State is just hot all year round. I'm talking like 113 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's definitely a bit of a change. Like the ball's going further. I mean, the ball's going like 40 yards further because it's like 20% more. As the altitude's like 4,000 feet above sea level. And you're going into then a team that is a very competitive 13-man team. Only 5 of you can play. But yeah, in my first year as a junior, I actually did very well. I played in all the tournaments in the spring. So that's like 8 tournaments including conference. And then I think I played in 1 in the 4. So I played in over 70% of the tournaments for the team. And I did have some really good results. I had some good results, which I thought I was going to build on to in my senior year. Senior year, played in the 4 of the 6 tournaments in the fall. Then the season obviously was cut in the spring, and I didn't get to play in the spring. And I was kind of looking for that. Coming into the spring, I felt really good. Come back over in the winter, saw my coach Tim Hall, saw a few of the other boys, got mentally right again, felt great about my game, and I honestly was doing really well. Like in qualifying, I was shooting some really low numbers. And I think it was like the Louisiana trip we had booked. The flight was at 4 a.m. on the morning of when the corridors for travel around the world was closed, and COVID hit, so we couldn't travel yet.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to dwell too much on COVID, but it has to come up because it's been such a massive impact on everyone. We wouldn't have been doing our first in-person interview a year after launching if it wasn't for COVID. So, but in terms of yourself and in terms of golf, how did it affect you? Not only as in where you were, but how you felt.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Before I talk about this, I definitely I'm not one that has been affected terribly by COVID. There's a lot more worse people out there than me that have got hurt by a lot more. But yeah, it sucks, doesn't it? Sitting here knowing that I didn't have an in-person graduation, which is pretty nuts over there. In my school, it would have been 60,000 people in the basketball arena watching you get your degree that you worked so hard for over 4 years. But yeah, from a golf point of view, it kills me a little bit to think that I didn't get that full 4 years and to compete at the highest level, especially when you come into conference in the spring. So that's annoying. But I guess it's been a slow start really coming back, because then obviously my ambitions are to turn pro after I finish college, no problem at all. But it's that time of in May, June, I was like, hang on a sec, do I come back for my final year? Yeah, I want to do that. Coach is then trouble is, I don't know if we're going to play next year. Oh, right, okay. Got to think about that then. Do I want to come back, start a Masters, not play for a semester or two, then have to come back and not get any scholarship because I've used my final year for my first year of my Masters, so my second year doing my Masters I have to pay full tuition. That's not going to happen. And then, coming back to sign a term pro, great. I've played 1 tournament as a professional, so it's just I'm kind of a little bit halted right now, but it's looking great now because in 3 weeks' time I've got my first event on April 7th.
Good segue, mate. You're a professional at this, pal. So talking about that, you're obviously looking to turn pro. Well, you have turned pro. Yeah. What are the next steps for you, and how can people help and find out about that?
Yep. So it is all, well, at the moment it's all on the Tim Hall School of Golf website. It will be on my social media soon, just because I haven't got it up and running yet with my social media. But yeah, my first event is on the April 7th, and that is the Clutch Pro Tour event, because I'm going to be basing myself on the Clutch Pro Tour. I'm going to compete in their schedule this year, just because I would ideally want to be on the Euro Pro straight away. But Euro Pro qualifying was brought forward, usually in February, March time, but it was brought forward so the back end of last year because of COVID reasons, and obviously I was in the States still, so I've having to wait for Euro Pro qualifying 2022. Well, still don't know when that is going to be, but that'll be sometime this year probably. But yeah, the Clutch Pro Tours are great. It's a great tour. It has some great names on it. It's going to be a great starting point for me, and collect a win or two on there for sure. In my first year as pro, that'll be a good little stead then for moving forward, because my plan then would be, Chris, Clutch Pro Tour, Euro Pro Tour, Challenge Tour, European Tour, and ideally back over in the US on the PGA Tour. That's where I see myself.
Definitely. One thing I wanted to cover with you before we wrap up, you've got a little brother, Leo. How much do you think you can project and help him out, because he's also massive into his golf, isn't he? And he absolutely, I know he absolutely idolises you in that way. So how much do you think having him there is a motivation for you and for him?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a motivation for me, because I'm looking at a kid that started the game a lot younger than me, and already at 14 is off a 5 handicap. I think at 14 I was probably off like summer. I don't even know, but at least double that. You're not even triple that number. So the kid's already blossoming way ahead of me than where I was, and I think I like to think that I am helping him out a lot. I mean, the kid's always got questions every day. There's something about what he can do or what he's doing, how he can get to here and where he wants to be. And obviously I'm just trying to give him the experience I've gone through with that and give him the best advice I can.
Definitely, mate. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you, Niall. You talked about your social medias and where people can find you. Where can they, mate?
Yep, so they can find me on Facebook under Niall Powell. They can also find me on Instagram as I think it's Niall Powell. I think it's an underscore at the end, but it has this logo on there.
Yeah.
And then on Twitter it's the same thing, Niall Powell with this logo. So yeah, you should find me easily if you look on social media.
Excellent stuff, mate. Well, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I do hope you did enjoy this slightly different video. We'll be back on Zoom soon, I hope. I hope not, actually. We'll be doing more of this kind of stuff. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and drop Niall a follow on everything, and we'll see you in a bit.